Good morning. How are you all doing? I'm sorry I'm late. I'm 15 minutes late for the show this morning, guys. Had a bit of a meeting, so it ran a bit over time. Sorry I wasn't able to getting on time. Thank you all for joining me, guys. I hope you're all having a great day so far. We're going to get into three topics this morning. Is there agenda by the Ineos group? Who knows? What does the future hold for Manchester United going forward under this Ineos 25% ownership with Eric Ten Hag going forward as we look ahead to the game against Tottenham Hotspurs and FA Cup victory for Manchester United, comfortable 2-0 win for the Reds as they move on to the next round, awaiting the replay between Eastleigh and Newport. Guys, get in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Smash that subscribe button if you're new. Hit the notification bell so you can see when I'm live. And if you're always here, you know what to do. Get your comments in. Let me know what you're thinking. Hope you're having a great day so far. And let's get it going. Guys, what are your thoughts? Your comments? I'm here for it. And big up to everyone joining me this morning. Thank you for being here, guys, and I hope you're having a great day. Stephanie Griffith is coming in. Good morning to you as well. Big up to you, Compost Smurf. This fan base ages me more than watching our dysfunctional team playing. People are acting like we lost 2-0 last night. Give me strength. Man, I share your sentiments exactly, my bro. Good morning to you, GB. Good morning to you, Steph, again. Big up Compost, GB is saying in the comments. Yeah, man, I hope you guys are having a good day too as well. And I'm going to get into it really quickly, guys, and we're not going to take too long. Manchester United with the 25%, it's the transfer window. And guys, we've been hearing lots of reports of Varane and Casemiro possibly exiting the club based on the facts that they are the largest earners at the club. And what could this entail? Guys, get your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking because I disagree. I don't think that we're going to get rid of them, in my opinion. If you look at the youth coming through, we have lots of them and they're going to need, that senior experience or senior professional who they could look up to and have respect for, that they can learn from, like a target or that they need to surpass, a standard of where they need to be, and for guys like young Dan Gore Jr. and Kobe Mainu coming into the midfield, as well as Hannibal Medjbri, a guy like Casemiro is pivotal in helping raise their excellence and their levels by sharing his experience with them. And we've already heard of how Casemiro and Lisandro Martinez have helped Ahmad during his recovery time when he was coming back from injury. The advice that they gave him, the way they helped him work through his training while they were also working themselves back from injury, guys. So at the same time, I am saying maybe they're trying to renegotiate their contracts. We do know Casemiro has 2 more years on his contract left. Who knows what is happening? Maybe they're just trying to cut the wage bill down to like a standard 200K and then give bonuses, to make up the rest. I think, we should always have this type of system at Manchester United. It got a bit too crazy in the last few years, under John Murtaugh and Ed Woodward and these guys. They were just giving out money like it's paper, leaves off trees, guys, in my opinion. And Varane has already stated that he does not want to be leaving the club. And I can tell you guys for sure that he is in talks with the club for over a new contract for lesser terms. And they're currently negotiating these terms, and it's very positive so far. So, we can see that, there are also going to be reports saying that this is being done by Ineos because they just want to save money. Guys, at the end of the day, Manchester United has been wasteful in the way they handle their finances over the last decade. And as much as we could say these managers and their talent IDs and some of the players that we have bought, we have overspent on these players. It was neither of any of the 5 managers' fault since David Moyes and Alex Ferguson was at the helm. And guys, I would say this to you all. We all know the inept capabilities of the backroom staff at Manchester United. And right now, it's one of those things that should be at the main point of focus. Fans should not be saying Eric Ten Hag out based on his talent ID, based on the cost of players, based on the new contracts being given to other players in the squad. I believe that fans should be taking this out on the club, the guys who are negotiating these contracts and making these deals, because they have not been doing their job. At the end of the day, there's so many different teams in the league that you could see and take example from the way they do business. Chelsea, Man City, even Arsenal. Their young players, when they're sold, they go for an average of 5 to 10, even 15, 20 million pounds per player. Manchester United's average in recent times has been like 100K. This is what, guys, your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Please don't sell them now. Compost Merce is saying we need to try and salvage this season. We can beat Spurs, Villa, and soon have Thursday, Sunday football with a small squad with our players returning. 100% Compost. And, a lot of people would say that this season needs saving. But, if I was to mention to you guys that, at 20 games played last season, we were on 32 points. And on this season, we are on 31 points. A difference of 1 point. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where last season we didn't lose as many games at the beginning of the season because we drew a lot of games. But at the same time, we didn't win as many games at this stage of the season as we won last season. We won less games, but we drew a lot more, which means that, we didn't have a lot of losing results. So in that regards, I can understand that it's not been a good season. But when you look at it from the mathematical perspective that I'm looking at it from right now, we're on 31 points. We've got 18 games to play, and we've been on 32 points last season with 18 games left. I think this squad has a bit more, how should I put it, the unknown factor going forward, because I think they're capable of scoring multiple goals, 2 to 3 goals on average, if they're on their day, which is much better than the team that we had last season, because I don't think we could say that the forward line had 2 or 3 goals in them, even when they was on their day last season, because we scored like 2 goals a game on average in some occasions. So, or 1 goal wins for a lot of games last season. So it's one of those things, guys, where I'm like saying, it's bad, but it's not that bad. And I'll go on to say that, Manchester United is, working to do things better. I think, with the coach that we have right now, Eric Ten Hag, he might not be the guy that's going to be there for the long haul in the next decade or so, but he could earn that spot still, because with his performance last season, getting the highest points total since Alex Ferguson's reign with 75 points, coming in third with 2 cup finals played, winning 1 cup, even if it was the smaller of the League Cup, in the Carabao. Guys, I think that's earned him the right to have a third season at Manchester United. And I still think we can be positive as fans and say, you know what, if we manage to string along a few wins and good results, we could definitely get into top 4. Because as we know, all the other teams in top 4 are struggling right now. Arsenal is 4th, struggling to score goals. Liverpool is at top of the league, but you know what? They're missing Mohamed Salah as well as Endo for the Asia Cup of Nations. So you know what? They could be get at. It's the same with Manchester City. It's the same, with other teams like Aston Villa. Like especially this team we are facing this weekend in Spurs. They're missing 3 or 4 key players, not only due to injury, but also because of the Asia Cup of Nations and the Africa Cup of Nations. So you know what, guys? Even though Timo Werner is at Spurs, I think we should have enough to get in the tank to get a result that's going to please the fans. Guys, I'm going to bring to you a little bit of news. Roy Keane has been speaking about the performance of the FA Cup yet last night, and he's saying some very critical things about Rasmus Højlund, and he has actually given some flowers to Bruno Fernandes. Supporters, he's saying, it's countless matches this season. Rasmus Højlund in particular looked off his game after watching several clear-cut chances go astray. Man United are playing against League One side here, as Keane was saying. Marcus Rashford must be walking off the pitch thinking, for all these opportunities, I should be scoring or certainly providing more assists for some of the players. It may be a bit harsh, but that's what we expect from a lot from him. He should be more explosive. It's just these little details. He's got into the habit of as well of stopping the ball dead, and that makes it easier to defend. There were parts of his game tonight that frustrated me, and hopefully they'll have frustrated his teammates as well, who will now go, listen, we expect more from you. Guys, your thoughts in the comments. Did you think that, we could do a little bit better last night? I think Marcus Rashford was clearly disappointing, in my opinion. He got that assist, but in a way, it was like a frustrating thing for me because it didn't seem like he really wanted to pass the ball. He was just trying to do things and it wasn't working. Yeah, I know. Keane was digging him out and ITV cut him off. But at the same time, I think he was being honest because Marcus Rashford is the most senior attacking player in the squad. Younger players like Garnacho should be looking at him and looking up to him like, this is what an academy graduate can do. Leading the line at Manchester United, he has to do better. He has a responsibility not just for himself, but to his younger teammates like Garnacho, like Majbury, like young attacking wingers like coming up like Ethan Wheatley, Ethan Williams, all these guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. And I'm going to jump into a little bit of news. Some reports Eric Ten Hag was speaking about the team's performance. And guys, he was being honest, in my opinion. I think he was saying that Manchester United should have gotten more chances as opposed to what they've left with. They should have taken a lot more chances. And I'm going to bring that information to you right now, guys. Just let me get this article up. And the Manchester United boss was speaking. I think we should have scored more, but the good thing is we created the chances. It's all about the win. But in the first half, the way we played, the performance, how we worked the ball, how we made our runs, the investment in the final third, we created a lot of chances that was pleasing to see. After December, in which United lost 6 of 9 to increase the pressure on Ten Hag, the manager could not afford to slip up, and that showed in a team selection, which he made only 2 changes. One of them, the return of Højlund from Intis, and Anthony was out due to injury, while Christian Eriksen was ill. With Scott McTominay replacing the Dane, we have so many injuries and illnesses, but still we put out a strong team. We had a good team, so we are confident before. We must win this game. You never underestimate any opponent, definitely not this side. You know they will fight for their life because it's a game of their life. We took the game decent. Wigan had a superb early chance to take the lead with a quick break down the right, but goalkeeper Andre Onana denied Thilo Asgard from close range, and they would not have such a clear-cut opportunity again. I think it's a good save, says the Liverpool-born Norway international youngster Asgard. If it was on my right side, I'd have the confidence to lift it, but the keeper got down. It didn't knock my confidence or anything. It was just a good save. The Wigan boss, Sean Maloney, said the goal scorer, the only time Wigan have ever beaten United in a competitive fixture back in 2012, acknowledged that the moment could have changed the night, but admitted his side were well beaten. It might change the dynamic at the time in the game. United had some chances as well. We have to take a lot from it. Some of our players were individually really had a really good performances. It is never nice to get beat, but I hope we take a lot from the game. In terms of effort, I'm very, very proud of what the players gave. It was a difficult match. United played very well. They're a difficult opponent with the ball. We tried to be aggressive as we could. Those are the views of Sean Maloney, guys. Your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. And Stephanie Griffith is coming in hard. To guarantee top 4, we need average 2 points per game. 76 points should and scoring at least 2 goals per game, 76 goals again to achieve that. Last season's return of 58 was down to 20 clean sheets. 100%, Stephanie Griffin. 100%. And I'm just saying this, guys. I think Man United has a chance. It's a slim chance, albeit, but they do have a chance. Rashi and Bruno, horrible performances, were terrible, but they added to GA, so the dunces are happy. In a way, to be fair, Compost, like, I think Bruno had an okay game. You know what I mean? I can't fault him too much. I think he was keeping it simple last night, but at the same time, yeah, he could have done a lot better. I expected a lot more from Marcus Rashford. I will continue to expect a lot more from Marcus Rashford. As the senior attacker in our team, he needs to do better. He is the talisman, in my opinion, and he needs to be getting those goals. He needs to be getting those assists. He needs to be the most dangerous figure on the pitch, and may not be for a goal threat, but just the creativity that he could offer. You know what I'm saying? And yes, Stephanie Griffith is coming in really with some really key points. We look awkward and clumsy going forward. It is the hope rather than planning attacking. Don't seem to be on the same page. And that's what I'm saying. It's like some of these players, they lose the plot in certain times in the game. You know what I mean? Like when we started the game, there was a lot of balls going into the box. Hoyland missed a few chances, and then both our wingers, they just stopped putting the ball in. They just started taking shots. I think it was very, very immature of the wingers, to be fair. Albeit, I would say the wingers, Garnacho, I'm going to expect immaturity from him in games as well as maturity, because you know what? He's still growing. He's young. Same with Hoyland. But guys like Rashford and Bruno, I'm going to expect maturity and better performances each and every time, and always very critical of them both. Compost Smirk. Bruno keeps trying the very difficult true ball, but ignores the simple slide passes every time around the box. You know, I agree with that, but I would also say to you this. Some of our players are too static for the simple slide pass. They don't even read the ball until it's too late, thereby allowing defenders to, come up on them and close them down. I think our players play a little bit too static. They need to be a little bit more pass and move. And I see them do it in training. Like you could see it. They play that pass and move football in training, but then when they get in onto the game, they're so static. And I have to blame the attackers for this. You know what I mean? Like Marcus Rashford is so static. Garnacho's at times is very static. But you could see when they start moving, the game starts opening up. So it's one of those things where I think we need to improve on that. I think it will improve. I can say though, for one thing, is that the team looks a bit better in defending. I know it was Wigan that we were playing, but at the same time, every time I see the team play a game, I feel like the defense as a unit gets better this season. So I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday, and I think it's going to be one of those where we might have a fair result. Some other bits of news before I end the stream, guys, and a little bit of breaking news on some results and exclusive transfers that might be happening. And I'm going to be speaking about two transfers right now, and the race is wide open as I keep talking about this youngster from Ecuador, Oscar Zambrano. And it's although Bournemouth are currently in talks over signing the talented 90-year-old Nina, it's also reported that Manchester United have also been stepping up their connections and contacts with his people, and they're trying to secure his signature ahead of the Cherries, I believe they're called, the Bournemouth faithful, I should say, maybe. And Man United scouts are monitoring 6'4" Giorgio Scalvini. They've been watching his games, and they were said to be there at his game this weekend when Atalanta drew 1-1 with Roma. Guys, what are your thoughts in the comments? Let me know what you're thinking. This Giorgio Scalvini, standing at a massive 6'4" from the Brescia Academy, also has a competitive edge and expected to be able to deal with the notoriously physical and fast-paced Premier League. Guys, if you've never seen this youngster play, he has this sterling shadow when he plays of Alessandro Nesta over him, in my opinion. He looks just like the guy. Like, if you've ever seen Alessandro Nesta play, look at Giorgio Scalvini. He's a modern day version. And I think he's a little bit stronger, fitter, and faster than Nesta was. So it's one of those things where I'm pretty excited that we're looking at him. I know everyone is hyped on the Todibo, John Clare Todibo transfer, but I'll be honest with you guys. I think we already have him in Willie Kwambala. And people might say, Mark, you're hyping him too soon. But I've been watching this youngster for the last 3 years in the youth team performing, growing, and his maturity has grown. And I think he is the identical profile of John Clare Todibo. He's the same height at 6'3". He's very quick, very, very good on the ball. He's aggressive. So I think he just needs the experience. And he has Rafael Varane, like I was speaking earlier about Casemiro, having players like Rafael Varane and Johnny Evans in defense. The experience and the wealth of experience and how they read the game is going to give him an edge learning from them on the job. You know what I mean? Yes, and I'm telling you, Campo Smurf, it's a perfect complement of skills because I think Giorgio Scalvini would match up perfectly, right, with the likes of Lisandro Martinez based on the way he plays football. You know what I mean? And this is why I also think we're keen, very keen, at looking at Goncalo Ignacio. And this is why he's been rebuffing some offers. I know Liverpool have made an offer to him, to his club, for 38 million euros. But like I said to you guys before, he was offered to Manchester United for 48 million euros a few weeks ago. And it's because he has been saying that he wants Manchester United, guys. So it's one of those things where I'm just going to give you this information about these little headlines and tidbits about some transfers that we're trying to do right now. And Manchester United are also looking at a few other players. I mentioned yesterday that they were looking at Lille striker Jonathan David, but Aston Villa have set open talks with him, thankfully, because I definitely would never want to see such an average player at Manchester United. You know what I mean? But I bring you some tidbits and tidings as Everton are hot, you know, in the idea that they have that they're thinking about making a trade as they eye Scott McTominay. And what's happening, guys? Everton has decided that they would like to strike a deal with Manchester United. And since Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United have been showing interest in Amadou Onana, Everton is thinking about making a swap for the player that will increase relations with both clubs. You know that James Garner already went to Everton this summer for a little bit of, not more than £8 million. You know, there's talks that Hannibal might be going to Everton on a season-long loan in the next 2 days. But also breaking now, Everton are hugely interested in getting Scott McTominay into their midfield, and they are planning to weigh up Amadou Onana. Will Manchester United have two Onanas at the end of this January window, or will it just be one? Guys, your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Arguably our best front three of Rooney, Ronnie, and Tevez had goals and guile, but two of those players were the real grafters as well. Sadly, can't say that with anything we have at the moment. I 100% agree with you, Stephanie. And I think, you know what? Garnacho needs to, up his ante, take his levels up a little bit. He has been, I could say that he was taking lots of pages out of Cristiano Ronaldo's books. Especially when Ronaldo was at United, you'd always see Garnacho near him and around him. He was learning things from him, and I think it's teaching him things. So, let's look forward to the future and see how it goes. And like my buddy Campo Smurf is saying, please, Deitch, do it. Let's get Amadou Onana in United and get McTominay out on the next side to the Merseyside. So, guys, thank you for joining me. This has been, a little bit of news, morning views. Manchester United 2-0 as we move ahead in the FA Cup. Waiting on a replay result of Eastleigh facing Newport. Guys, what are your thoughts in the comments? Which one of those teams would you rather play? My buddy Admiral Drex yesterday, he says he's a huge fan of Eastleigh. So, in my honest opinion, it doesn't matter which one of the teams we play. Whoever wins, I hope they do it soon so we could take them on in the next round and see where our fates lie, as Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag aim to win the FA Cup this season. Guys, we're out of all competitions except the FA Cup. No more Carabao Cup, no more Champions League this season. But there's still a chance. Mathematically, we could get top four, and we could win the FA Cup. Your thoughts, guys, in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I hope you all, had a bit to think about from the information that I was giving you. And yeah, Southampton Airport is in Eastleigh. 100%. It don't matter. The replay is the 16th of Jan. Oh, it's next week. Oh, cool. That's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be on Monday next week. Nice. Well, guys, thank you for joining me this morning. It's been my pleasure to present this little bit of information to you, and I will be back again at 4 p.m. with more transfer market information, because you know what, guys, there's lots happening right now around Europe, and there's quite a few bits of information coming out of Germany. Stay tuned for more. Thank you for joining me. Thank you to Compo Smurf. Big up to you, Stephanie Griffith. GB, thank you for always getting in early, my buddy. I know you're always here, and I'm always on Caribbean time sometimes, bro. I can't help it. You know what? I'm a Trini all day long, just like Dwight York. Hope you guys have a great day. I will see you all later. Thank you for joining me, and it's been your boy Mark, an MEFC fan, with the morning views and the daily update. Catch you later.